Hagia Sophia is one of the most emblematic and most visited spots in Istanbul, but most tourists leave feeling like they overpaid. I live here, and today I'm telling you what those other videos won't. So before you buy that ticket, watch this. So let me give you a quick history of this magnificent structure because it makes the visit so much more interesting. Hagia Sophia has been built on this very same spot 3 times. What we see today is known as the third Hagia Sophia, far larger and more glorious than its 2 predecessors. This version was built by Byzantine Emperor Justinian I between 532 and 537 AD and served as the imperial church of the Eastern Roman Empire, making it the largest church in the world at the time. It was a place where emperors were crowned, and it remained the grandest cathedral in the city throughout the entire Byzantine period. Then, following the Ottoman conquest of Constantinople in 1453, it was converted into a mosque, a role it held for 481 years. In the 1930s, it was transformed into a museum, and then in 2020, it was reconverted into an active mosque, which is what we see today. It's a splendid work of art where we can witness a beautiful blend of Byzantine and Ottoman cultures under one roof, and it has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1985. The ticket price for Hagia Sophia in 2026 is 25 euros per person, only if you want to visit the Byzantine Mosaic Gallery on the upper level of the monument. However, there is also one combined ticket which includes the Byzantine Mosaic Gallery at the Hagia Sophia monument and also the Hagia Sophia History and Experience Museum. That's another museum that probably opened up about a year and a half ago. So for that combined ticket, it costs 50 euros per person, but it also has the benefit to skip the line inside Hagia Sophia. Also keep in mind that unfortunately after the Hagia Sophia opened up after its big restoration a couple of years ago, this museum was taken away from the Museum Pass Istanbul and Museum Pass Turkey. That being said, this museum is not included anymore in these passes, so now even if you have the Museum Pass Turkey or the Museum Pass Istanbul, you still have to purchase another entrance if you want to visit the gallery. Also, as many of you already realize, is that in Istanbul, the prices for the museums are increasing every single year, even some of them every 6 months. But in the case of Hagia Sophia, is one of the very few monuments, along with the Galata Tower, that for many years haven't increased their prices. So for now, the Hagia Sophia has kept its price at 25 euros per person, and there will not be any surprises. I hope not. And before I tell you what to expect inside the monument, there is something very important that you need to know about what the Hagia Sophia is currently looking like, because maybe after watching this video you will not want to pay the 25 euros. One of the most important questions is where you can purchase the tickets for the Hagia Sophia. Okay, there are 3 ways and I will be explaining them to you one by one. So the first one will be only directly at the ticket office on the day of your visit. And that ticket office, you will be able to find it by the main entrance of Topkapi Palace and the Hagia Sophia. The second option will be through the QR codes that you will find around the Hagia Sophia's monument. But for the QR code, you will only have access to the combined tickets, not the single tickets, in case that you are only interested in paying 25 euros to visit the Byzantine Mosaic Gallery in the upper level. And the third one will be through third-party companies online. However, and once again, and this is something that I repeat a lot in many of my videos, be careful where you purchase these tickets if you are trying to purchase them through third-party companies online. Why? Because you're at big risk that you can get scammed, and also they tend to sell those tickets much more expensive than they really are. So for example, if the combined ticket at the moment is 50 euros per person, if you purchase it online, you might be paying like $60 to even $70 per person. I have seen people writing that they have paid 70 euros per person, so that is a lot. And of course, as a local that has been living here in Istanbul for the past 10 years, my only suggestions will be to purchase the tickets directly from the ticket office on the day of your visit, or if you want the combined ticket, through the QR codes that I just showed you. The mosaic gallery is open daily from 9 in the morning to 7:30, sometimes 8:30 p.m. at night. So you might be able to visit it during that time if you want to see the Byzantine mosaics. However, if you also intend to visit the mosque, which is the lower level of the monument, this one is open 24 hours. However, there are some things that also you should keep in mind. Officially, this is what the government said, that the lower level was only reserved to Turkish citizens and to Muslim tourists, but Muslim tourists who really are going to pray. That being said, is that for other type of tourists that just want to see the mosque section are not even allowed to enter to the mosque. However, there have been people reporting that they were lucky enough to be allowed to enter. So I guess it everything depends on the person that is at the entrance that day. Maybe you can sneak up and just say like, okay, I'm Muslim or something like that. To be honest, I wouldn't even do that. But I mean, if you really want to see like the mosque section, or at least a little bit of it without paying the 25 euros, you can try your chances. But some people have said, yes, I have been able to enter as a non-Muslim and just as a tourist, but some other people haven't been allowed. So I guess everything it depends on your luck at that day. But in case that you're lucky enough to enter and you want to try your chances, also just keep in mind that the mosque section will be closed to every visitor during praying times. And the praying times depend on the sunrise and the sunset, so every day it changes. So I suggest to go online and just check on that day that you want to visit when are the praying times, so you can learn at what time the mosque might be closed. Also on Fridays, very important, on Fridays the mosque will close from midday to 2 p.m. So it will open after 2 or 2:30 p.m. to regular visitors. Now, when is the best time to visit the Hagia Sophia? Well, if you really want to avoid the crowds, and believe me, this place can get really crowded during high season, I will suggest just to do it as soon as it opens its doors. That means around 9 to 9:30, maximum 10:30 in the morning. Why is this? Because around that time the guided tours start arriving and the lines can get quite long. And trust me, waiting in lines, and sometimes they move so slow that maybe you might be waiting 1 hour to 1 hour and a half just to enter. And with the heat and under the sun, it can be quite exhausting. So if you really want to avoid that, just visit it as soon as it opens, maximum 10:30, so you can enter, you can visit it, and you don't have to wait in line. And also, if you are visiting during high season, which that covers from, let's say, late May to maybe mid-September, also the cruise ships that come from the Mediterranean are docking in Istanbul. So sometimes we have even 2, sometimes 3 cruise ships at the same time docking in Istanbul. So that means thousands of passengers are flocking to Sultanahmet area, are visiting many of these monuments. So the area in general gets impossible. So my best advice is just to go to this app, which is called Cruise Mapper. And if you happen to be in high season here in Istanbul during summer, just go through that app and you can track how many cruise ships, or if any cruise ship will be docking that day of your visit here in Istanbul. If it is, and if you have the chance, I will suggest just to avoid the whole area altogether and visit some other areas, maybe like the Asian side of the city or something like that. But if it's your only opportunity and you have no option and you still have to visit that area at the same time as the cruise ship passengers, then just do it as early as possible. Now, when it comes to low season in the city, that means in winter season, which generally goes from mid-November to mid-March, here you will not find too many people around, so you will find very little to no lines at all to visit Hagia Sophia. So in my opinion, that's one of the best seasons also to visit like the city and the whole country, because you will be able to enjoy the monuments and the places without the crowds, obviously. And also another important tip, if you happen to be during high season here and you have more days here in Istanbul, maybe 2, 3, even 5 days in Istanbul, also you have the option to visit this monument in the evening, maybe just right before it closes. So that way you will not find any guided tours anymore, because usually, I mean, all of them are during the morning. So usually they are finishing around 2, 3, maximum 5 p.m. So after 5 p.m. you will rarely find guided tours around this area. Can you skip the line with the tickets? Well, in fact, if you purchase your single ticket for the mosaic gallery in the upper level of Hagia Sophia, you will not be able to skip the line. You still have to line up once again just to enter the monument with the rest of visitors. However, if you decide to purchase the combined ticket from the QR codes that I just showed you previously, that costs 50 euros per person, then that one also has the benefit to skip the line. Now, if you decide to visit this monument, just plan between 1 hour to maximum 1.5 hours to visit the Hagia Sophia and the Mosaic Gallery. What are the visiting rules for Hagia Sophia? Remember that Hagia Sophia is an active mosque since 2020. So that is why even if you only decide to visit the Mosaic Gallery in the upper level of the monument, you still have to follow the dress code for any mosque in the city. So that being said, us ladies, we need to cover our hair, we need to dress modestly, we need to cover our shoulders and also our knees. And that's the same case for men. No shorts and no sleeveless t-shirts. So also in case that maybe you forgot to bring one headscarf to cover your hair as a lady, there are also some available, some disposable ones that you can purchase directly from the Hagia Sophia's ticket office. If you have any mobility restrictions, I would like to mention as well that these monuments, if you want to visit the upper level where the mosaic, where the Byzantine mosaics are, unfortunately, you will not be able to visit if you happen to have any mobility restrictions, because there are only some ramps and some uneven stairs. They are quite narrow, so they are not accessible for wheelchair users. However, if you only want to visit the lower level, there is a specific entrance where wheelchair users can enter. Hagia Sophia has entered a very important restoration period just a couple of months ago. So as you can see behind me, even the main dome is totally covered from the outside part. But still, we need to discover what does it look like from inside. And well, I really wanted to show you how much I paid for Hagia Sophia, because I know that many of you might believe that for Turkish citizens it might be free and that we don't pay anything and as foreign tourists. And yes, probably we have some benefits actually to visit many of the museums and palaces, not just in Istanbul but throughout Turkey. That is true. Just as in any other country, the citizens of those countries, they have benefits to visit their own museums, their own monuments, and that's totally all right. Actually, I support that. But in case of Hagia Sophia, let me tell you that we don't have any benefits. We pay the same fee as any foreign tourist, because I'm also a Turkish citizen and I showed my Turkish kimlik, my Turkish ID. So I got my ticket here. Here it is. And I want to show you how much I paid just as a regular tourist. So 1,000, I paid the equivalent of euros in Turkish liras, 1,375 liras. So that means 25 euros as of today. But I really wanted to pay that because I want to show you what it looks like from inside. So if you want to support me paying back that money, just like this video and comment. That's the only way how you can support like my channel. Just give me a like and comment and engage, because this video will show to other people who are looking for this kind of information. So we are entering right now. This is what the Byzantine Mosaic Gallery looks like right now, and if you are visiting on your own and want to get the most out of it, look out for the QR codes around the gallery. They'll give you access to audio guides. Just make sure you have mobile data and bring your earphones. Now, All the restoration work is happening on the ground floor, mainly on the main dome. And because of that, the views from the upper gallery are quite restricted. You really can't appreciate the rest of the monument in detail from up there. What you can see in full are the Byzantine mosaics. Those are completely accessible and honestly, they are stunning. And one more thing, the only way out of the gallery is through these stairs, so as you can see, unfortunately, this is not accessible for people with mobility restrictions. And now I'm already inside the mosque section, and this is only reserved to Turkish citizens or Muslim tourists who desire to pray. In fact, when I was just coming inside, they even asked me if I was Turkish citizen, and I even had to show my Turkish ID. So they are asking everybody in the entrance. So as I mentioned, maybe it depends on the person on that day of your visit that it's at the entrance. But in my case, they asked me, and even I had to show my ID. As you can see here, these are the chandeliers that were supposed to be here in the lower level before the restoration work. So for now, they just place them over here in the lower level. Also, they have this. So yeah, like all the chandeliers are gone. I will also show here what it used to look before the restoration works, and well, you're seeing right now. But these chandeliers used to be right here. And as you can see here in the lower level, we can see all the scaffolds and even the main dome, which is one of the main features of this mosque. This dome is beautiful, it's huge, it's totally covered. So this is one of the main points they are restoring as well. Now that we have finished exploring the Hagia Sophia, now I want to take you to the Hagia Sophia History and Experience Museum, because it is also important for you to know that if you decide to get the combined ticket, what to expect. So let's go. I already purchased my ticket to visit this other museum. So luckily for Turkish citizens, there is a 50% discount. So instead of paying 25 euros, I paid 14.50. The equivalent in Turkish liras was 675 Turkish liras. So here is my ticket. But obviously, if you are a foreign tourist, you will have to pay other 25 euros per person just to visit this experience museum. This museum is handicap friendly and also has free audio guides in 23 different languages. This hybrid museum blends physical artifacts with cutting-edge technology, inviting visitors into a vivid, multi-sensory journey through Hagia Sophia's 1,700-year legacy. The experience begins with the founding of the Byzantine Empire, tracing the construction and transformation of Hagia Sophia through the centuries. You engage with immersive storytelling, uncovering the architectural genius and historical significance of figures like Constantine the Great, Emperor Theodosius, the mathematician Isidore, and Emperor Justinian, the visionary behind Hagia Sophia as we know it today. The Ottoman section opens with the conquest of Constantinople and follows the building's remarkable transformation under the patronage of successive sultans. On the first floor, you'll find the artifacts exhibition, many of which are being displayed here for the very first time. It's arranged into 4 chapters that mirror Hagia Sophia's own story: the cathedral, the mosque, the museum, and the mosque once again. If you want to experience the full, rich history of Hagia Sophia in one place, then you should consider visiting this museum. Now, is it really worth visiting Hagia Sophia in 2026? Look, no one is going to tell you not to visit one of the greatest and most beautiful monuments ever made in human history. But paying 25 euros per person right now that's a different question. As you already saw from this video, is that most of the mosque exterior and interior is fully covered. Yes, it is true that the upper level where the Byzantine Mosaic Gallery is fully open, is fully accessible for visitors. Nothing is covered, nothing is in restoration in that level. If your only goal is to see the Byzantine art, you can do it. You can 100% do it. You will not have any trouble doing that. However, if your goal is also to see the lower level, to enjoy the views from the balconies and so on, unfortunately you're not gonna be able to get that, because as you just saw, everything is fully covered. Even the dome which is one of the main features and one of the most stunning parts of this monument, is fully covered. So you can already, with this video, you already have an idea if you really want to pay or not. But now let us know in comments below. Also, your opinion is very important for us. So tell us, will you pay 25 euros per person to visit a very small part of this monument? Write it down below. So now you know exactly what to expect from Hagia Sophia and Hagia Sophia History and Experience Museum. No surprises. If this helped you, subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. I live in Istanbul and this is what I do. And if this is your first time visiting, I already made the perfect guide for you. 3 days in Istanbul. Everything you need to know. The link is right up here. See you in the next video. Bye bye.